channel where I'm all about peace and positivity, and today we're going to be doing an updated belly piercing video because it was requested from one of my new subscribers. So we're just going to be talking about how long ago did I get it, how do I clean it, how did I help it heal better, because yes, it did sink. In the yes, the caption is right. It did sink in, and I had to take a few precautions on making it heal better. So here's what the piercing looks like. It's a regular navel belly piercing. Let's see. I got this about two weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. I got it for my 18th birthday because I'm one of those people that, like, I'm always a good girl. Like, I just stay like in the sections of being so closed off and stuff like that. So I wanted to do something different for my Instagram, because I'm like, okay, hold on. Everybody like was getting their bellies pierced this summer, and I was like, okay, I might as well. So I got it done, and I got it done by this the shop. Like, it's one of the only shops that I've seen that was in the city near me, where I live. So I got it done there. It was only $20. So of course I knew something was gonna happen, because it's the same place that I got my nose done. But my nose piercing was fine. It was fine, which I'll go into detail about that later. But it's just some things that happen with it and stuff like that, which I should have known. You know, you're paying $20 for a piercing, baby. Come on now. But I got it about 2.5 weeks ago, or whatever. So it was fine when I first got it. Like, he told me just use sea salt and warm water. So I'm like, okay, cool. So with my nose piercing, I tried to use sea salt or whatever, and it like made it like dry out around. I don't know, my skin is very sensitive and different. So like every time I try to use something new on it, it like what is that? What is that? So I just tried sea salt for like the first 2 weeks when I got my nose piercing or whatever, and that dried it out and it irritated it. So I just didn't use it. I just was only using antibacterial soap, which is the same thing that I did with the belly piercing. So I didn't have a chance to get sea salt because, first of all, I was scared because I thought it was going to do what it did to my nose. And like, I was scared because I didn't learn about rejection as much. I didn't go into detail about it, but I did hear about it. So I thought that if my skin would have like felt the sea salt on or whatever, it probably would have tried to reject my piercing, which I didn't know that rejection is just like from the natural body. So it's not for anything that you can't, you know, you can't stop it or anything like that. You can't do anything to your piercing or not do anything to your piercing to make it stop rejection or anything like that. So I was just like, okay, I'm not going to use sea salt, but I did use antibacterial soap. And then in the shower, because the piercer dude did ask for my number, of course. He asked my number, so I just was like texting him or whatever, and I was asking him, I'm like, okay, because it was burning. But he told me that I couldn't use like scented soap or whatever. So I was using this effort, like the Dow antibacterial soap, but it is the lavender kind, so it is scented, but it was burning at first. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? But as the time went on, of course, you know, it was starting to get used to it and stuff like that, because my body takes a long time to get used to new things, like such as piercings and stuff like that. So it just got used to it or whatever, so it stopped burning or whatever. Okay, so then I noticed, like last week, I noticed that my piercing was like starting to like sink in a little, like it was sinking in into the hole, the top part. So I was like, okay, I don't know what to do about this. Like, I was looking at videos and stuff like that, because I'm, bro, when I tell you, I go to Google and YouTube for everything, like literally. So I went to YouTube to see like people talking about this or whatever, and they was like, oh, they were just talking about how you gotta get the ball changed, not the ball, but the bar. And little did I know, the dude that was piercing my belly, he gave me too small of a bar, and he pierced like the meat too thick, like, and then he gave me the smallest bar. So while my skin was trying to heal, it was pulling the piercing in. So like, I had like this big hole, and it was stretched or whatever. So number one mistake I made was They told me it was okay for me to sleep on my belly. That is not okay. If you get a belly piercing, do not sleep on your belly. Because I felt like it, like, because I move a lot in my sleep, of course. So, like, it was stretching. It was moving a lot and it was stretching out the hole. I feel like that's, I somewhat contributed to it. But the bar was already too small, so that made it worse, which I did not know about until I learned about it. So, it was sinking in or whatever. So, I'm like, okay, what do I do? So, you know, like I said, I went to the YouTube videos or whatever. They just said you got to get it changed. But unfortunately, I just got it pierced a week before. So, I can't go get it changed because that might irritate it and it can get infected easily. Because, you know, it's already in the first week. That's when it's prone to getting a lot of bacteria around it, getting infected, all of that. So, I was scared. I'm like, and then it might close. I was like, oh, nah, man. So, I couldn't get it, like, I couldn't get the bar changed because it was too early to get it changed. So what I did was, I'm gonna show y'all pictures of what I did. I did something like real ghetto. So, but I just basically like took like some tissue and like I just put it in between the top. Okay, so I put it in between the top bar and my belly, like right here. I put the napkin in between right here, so it could stop it from sinking, which I know that's probably not the best thing to do, but that's all I could think of at the time. So I put it in there, and I did that 2 to 3 times. I did that 2 to 3 times, and it stopped it from sinking. So while it was wrapped up in the napkin or whatever, it healed. So the meat started closing in right there, which is why the belly piercing looks fine. So like it was, you know, healed and everything. So that's where I got with that. So make sure if you are looking to get a belly piercing, make sure the bar is long enough for the amount of meat that they pierce. And they're supposed to ask you how long of a bar do you want. They're supposed to ask you. He did not ask me. I did not know that, so I found that out later. So make sure that they ask you, and if they don't ask you, you tell them like, look, I need a long bar so it can heal correctly, because I should have did research before I went to go get the belly piercing. I really should have, but you know, me, I just went and got it. So make sure you ask for a long bar, and then they're really supposed to supply you with solution for it. That's how I should have known that the shop wasn't up to par, because they didn't supply me with no type of solution, none of that. So they tell you to use antibacterial soap and sea salt. So I was using antibacterial soap at first, but then I was like, it was irritating my piercing every time I cleaned it. So what I ended up using, I just used warm water, and then I used these little what are these called? I forget what these are called. The ear pick thing, but things. But I just use that and warm water, and what I do is I take this. I make sure the water is really hot, because when you get a fresh piercing, of course you're gonna have like pus and stuff like that. So I had like a lot of crusties and stuff. So what I do is I make sure the water is really hot. Ooh. And then I wet it under there, and then the first thing I do, I clean the top. Of course, don't be too rough because you can irritate the piercing. So I clean the top like that, make sure all the crusties are off. And then what I do is I go to the bottom and clean around it like that. Don't forget to get inside the back part, because that's where the most crusties are. So like I get all up in there, and then don't forget to dry it off. You can't leave it moist. Once again, bacteria has a chance to grow. So make sure you dry it off. And yeah, but I mean, it's different for everybody. Like I feel like you should use sea salt, use what they recommend you to use, but I just know how my body is and I know how it works. So I was like, I'm just using warm water, and the shower is your best friend. Now don't take baths, because your piercing will get very irritated, especially with the fumes and soaps that you use in there, and then you just sitting in there. Don't take baths. But the shower is your best friend, because like it loosens up the crusties and stuff like that, so it can be easier to clean. So after you get off the shower is the best time to clean it. And then I just take those and then I clean around and stuff, and then I dry it. You're supposed to clean it 2 to 3 times a day. So, but don't over irritate it. That's the biggest thing. You can't irritate your piercing, because bad stuff will happen. Okay? It'll get like black around it and stuff. It'll be real irritating. You'll be stretching the skin and stuff. So just don't over irritate it. But so I could just say, so far my experience with the piercing other than it sinking, like, I like it. I think it's cute. And they say it takes 6 to 12 months to fully heal, which the shop told me too, but I found out it's really 6 to 12 months. It takes a long time for a belly piercing to fully heal, because it has like those layers of meat that has to close. So you have to wait for those to close. Then you're able to change like the ring and stuff like that. So if beforehand you try to change it, it might irritate it, it might get infected. More than likely it's gonna get infected. And when you are cleaning, make sure you do not take off the ball. Don't take off anything. Just clean around it. That's the best advice I can give. Okay, so make sure you know your facts before you go get the piercing. Make sure you're telling them to give you a long bar. Don't let them give you a small bar, okay? Especially if you're thick like me, okay? I got all this belly meat. No. Make sure you ask them for a longer bar. And make sure ask them to see if they have solution. Like, ask to see if they have any so that you can clean, because you might have to go get the sea salt antibacterial soap by yourself if you don't. But they automatically should give it to you when you get the piercing. It's supposed to come free with the piercing. That's how you know the shop is up to par, when you get the solution with the piercing. So yeah. But other than that, I do like the piercing. I will be updating y'all like a couple weeks from now to let y'all know like how it is going and stuff. But I just wanted to come on here and tell y'all about the piercing and stuff like that. So make sure you subscribe for more videos, and yeah.